Hi, my name is Jessica Boyd. Sometimes we take for granted that we have always had the Bible in our language and as a book on the table in our homes. This was not always the case for the first 1400 years of church history. Have you ever wondered who decided that the common person should have access to a Bible in their own language? I am going to be giving you a brief summary of chapter 24 from the book Church History in Plain Language by Bruce Shelley. Chapter 24 introduces two early reformers, John Wycliffe, an Englishman, and John Huss, a Bohemian. At the end of the medieval period, Wycliffe, an academic from Oxford, challenged the papacy because of their abuse of power and lack of Christlikeness. The medieval church put a barrier between the people and God. Wycliffe argued that every person was equal before God, and that a person's character was the most important qualification for office. Wycliffe believed the Pope was the Antichrist. He argued that the office of the Pope or the church leader should look like that of the apostles of Jesus Christ. They should be humble, poor, without silver or gold, and a shepherd of the flock. Also, Wycliffe eventually contested many of the church policies and practices and beliefs during the medieval period, such as pardons, indulgences, absolutions, pilgrimages, the worship of images, the adoration of saints, the treasury of the merits laid up at the reserve of the Pope, and the distinction between venial and mortal sins. Wycliffe looked to Scripture for his authority and went on to criticize the doctrine of transubstantiation. Because of his grievances against the Catholic Church, the Church excommunicated him and Oxford silenced him. In the end, he is most famously known for copying the Bible from Latin into English for the common person to understand. Following Wycliffe's teachings, John Huss, a Bohemian rector and preacher, saw the contrasting behaviors of the Pope and Jesus. Huss was excommunicated for spreading John Wycliffe's alleged heretical teachings and later subject to death by burning. He would not recant his beliefs, and he is famously quoted for saying, "God is my witness that the evidence against me is false. I have never thought nor preached except the one intention of winning men, if possible, from their sins. In the truth of the gospel I have written, taught, and preached. Today I will gladly die." Both of these men were seen as some of the early reformers of the Catholic Church, right before Martin Luther. John Wycliffe challenged several of the same reservations with the Catholic Church as Martin Luther. We owe Wycliffe credit for his English translation of the Bible, helping the common person to understand Scripture. At the time, the Catholic Church ecclesial body withheld Scriptures from the common person and also restricted access to the sacraments, such as the bread and the wine, for the common person, while egregiously charging people for penance and indulgences. Overall, the abuses of the Catholic Church needed to be called out and reformed. Without the sacrifices of men like Huss and Wycliffe, it's hard to say if the Catholic Church would ever turn around. Thank you.